We're back for round 2 of week 3 of season 22. As you can see, I already did my attacks. Did pretty well, so happy with this. A couple of interesting things on defense, but overall pretty light. So this is by no means a slam dunk, but we'll see what Chicken Hawk can pull off. But in the meantime, let's see what I did. Starting with stage 1, Daring Warriors versus Starjammers, which these days is quite a luxury, I'd say, that I don't need Daring Warriors somewhere else, but this is honestly the best room for them in this case. Starjammers, I mean, they're still a pretty good team because you still have to stop what they're doing, otherwise they will run you over, especially with Nova, but they're pretty hard stat checked at this point against new Crucible teams. Plus, I don't think any of their stuff is unblockable, even especially their passive stuff, so they just really don't do a lot of damage. Now this is a 5 diamond, what's his face, Havoc, so he resisted some of the stuff, but I guess her focus must be low because I see a lot of her Eclipse's stuff getting resisted, but it doesn't really matter. The debuffs aren't what's going to win this for you. So Thrasher goes, nukes everything off of them, and does some pretty good damage. You can see they're all getting retaliated on, but it's all getting blocked, so it's doing very little here. Then Daredevil goes, almost finishes the job across the board. All the retaliates take forever. Good positioning for me for where this Gladiator dropped because I was gonna kill these 3 anyways, so this is perfect because I get to do this. So Lalandra died, Howard died, this guy is basically dead, but still alive. But he's gonna bleed out anyway, even if he takes a turn. Jessica Jones' ultimate to finish him off. And here, I could have used this special here to flip and give barrier, but I wasn't really worried about damage coming through. Plus, Eclipse is going to use her ultimate here to heal me up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Might as well just kill them. So yeah, pretty efficient, pretty easy, kind of on autopilot, but also this is the second time I can use Daring Warriors against Starjammers. I want to say it's rare, but there are some folks that like playing really heavy offense, and then that makes some of these attacks like overkill. Moving on to stage 2, we're just going to go straight right into this one. I don't really like showing this one, but whatever. It is a Daemon comp into units. Now this is a 5 Diamond Shaw, so I was just curious to see if he would still die, but the answer is very much yes, everyone will die. Nothing can really stop Daemon if you let him get any sort of damage mods and don't stop his crit. Alright, so stage 3, so when I did this attack last time, my Annihilus was 5 red, 5 yellow, so I already know this works. I mean, if it worked before with a smaller Annihilus, it should definitely work with a bigger one. The only difference this time is that I made him a striker, because I wanted to see if I could basically kill the rod on my Annihilus's turn immediately. And let's see how that went. I was also worried about the room rule, because since Annihilus here is a striker, I thought he was going to shake off the ability block from Breaker, and then that would I would take more damage, so I was kind of paranoid about that. However, what I forgot was that Breaker's special actually does trauma ability block, so, on his turn, he's still not going to shake it off. So he still only does a basic. I only have 1 vulnerable here, but my thinking was if I do special from Annihilus, and he's barely not dead, that the ISO would kill the rod off. But what you'll see happen here is I do the special. Breaker ping kills the minion. Darkstar does a ping that already killed the rod, but had it not, the ISO attack would have removed the rod anyway. So at this point, we're kind of chilling. Now Eclipse gets to go. We don't really care about this too much. Gwen special does a bunch of damage, attempts to flip, doesn't always, but it also peppers people with vulnerables. She's just a good pre-taunt because she also dodges, so if Annihilus somehow does have the rod, it's less healing back for him and the rest of the team. Now Darkstar does her ultimate. Goodbye Annihilus, so at this point we're only focused on killing off the remaining Daring Warriors. Eclipse is really low, so that kills off her, then we get a ping. Then we get an ISO, he's dead, another ping, it's all coming apart. Now because of the positioning of both Eclipse and, well, mostly Annihilus, so I could only clip 1 Daring Warrior, they have 2 people alive, and these are kind of, I'm gonna say the worst ones to keep alive because they just do a lot of damage, but Thrasher gets to go here. he'll do some damage to me. That's fine. But my my Nihilus is keeping everyone healthy still, so it doesn't really matter, honestly. Then Daredevil does his ultimate. Same thing. I mean, my Breaker heals himself up. And now I'm just powering up my Nihilus to go. He gets to use his ultimate. And that is the end of this, because ping and ISO. So that's it. So yeah, this is pretty reliable. One shot against Daring Warriors and Nihilus, even at a disadvantage. I'm pretty sure this would work up to 3 diamonds, although I haven't done that yet, so we'll see when I encounter that. But I also suspect people are going to swap a Nihilus either to Exalted or very soon Symbiotes, so that's going to be a whole different kind of worms to figure out. I think once more Symbiotes are out, I'm going to put my Nihilus on defense with them to see how people deal with that, and then figure out if I want to move them back to offense, because I do like the fact that I can very efficiently one-shot this team. Moving on to stage 4, so this is Immortal Weapons with Mephisto. I honestly just overkilled the shit out of this as well, even though I didn't get the good RNG between Quasar and Jeff. However, it looks like they finally fixed Old Man Logan preventing charges, because this guy doesn't have them, which is great. Because I mostly brought Quasar here to remove the charges. I mean, he's also 129, which is good, but yeah, without those charges off rip, they really just fall apart. You know, there's all the assists going on from Old Man Logan, Odin, and Sentry, plus the ones that he called in. I mean, just one-shot that guy. And then, as long as Mephisto just dies here, it's whatever. I know that Mephisto's going to shake off the stun, but he's the only one that can get debuffed, and he's really the only other threat here that I'm worried about. So I just all in on him. If Jeff had won the coin flip with Quasar, then Quasar would have done infinite more damage to them, so this would have been a little bit more efficient, but as you can see, it's not like I'm having any issues here. So Jeff goes, kind of starts killing everyone off, and then one more turn for an Odin basic with an assist, and it's over. So, yeah, I don't know. Not a super crazy room. There's a lot of things you could do here. Having Mephisto here does definitely tax you with something, but there's not enough tax in the rest of the rooms for this to really do too much, I guess, unless you accidentally bring like a Fantastic Four to stop Mephisto and forget that Immortal Weapon stops speed stat. Moving over to stage 5, so another symbiote comp. This one is easier though than yesterday because they're not stopping anything. I guess maybe if you tried to Daemon this, you'd be in trouble because you can't crit on them. But yeah, again, because I'm not getting really taxed that heavily anywhere, I can just Thunderstrike Blastar this one. Only thing I messed up here was since Annihilators here, I'm not going to get vulnerables, so making Kahori a skirmisher doesn't really do much for me. I still have to finesse the darkness onto my Blastar so he gets to 5 with the darkness, so there's some weirdness, I think, like even with the diamond. So if I want him a striker, Thunderstrike has to be a skirmisher, or this is a ISO 4 skirm. If this is ISO 5, then Thunderstrike gets the darkness. I think the alternative is to make him a healer, basically, if I really want to make my Blastar a raider, just to kind of reduce the damage, because the expectation is that Thunderstrike shouldn't even be taking a turn, but even if he does, then, you know, they're mostly dead. So, but anyway, again, you'll see this works pretty well. Just, you know, removing buffs, doing a little bit of damage to people to make sure that they die. Basic into Null, because honestly, as long as Null dies, nothing else will really matter. Scientist Supreme goes into him, gives him also that juicy defense down, and then yeah, we've got 5 stacks already, offense up, some new diamonds, we do this, and boop. So yeah, Venom, sorry, not Venom, Riot survives, which is fine. I also just realized it's a good thing I didn't make him a raider, because with Venom here I wouldn't be able to crit anyway, so Striker was accidentally the better choice. But yeah, I mean, this is a, how big is this guy? Let's see. So he survived. It's good to understand thresholds. So he's 3 diamond G21. So if he survives this, that probably means the other Symbiote 6 at equal levels will probably also survive this too. So Null, we already know Null can die. But yeah, this could be a concern against the full team, because if he survives, maybe they all do, or enough of them do, where they start taking turns and it's a problem, and they are pretty fast, so like after Blastar does his thing, they will just go. I also think they stop speed stat on one of them. I think Quicksilver stops speed stat, so you might not want to do these comps anyway, or at least not the blow-up version. But yeah, it's always good to keep some of the limits in mind when you're hitting these targets to see like will they scale or not. And this makes it look a little iffy to me once the rest of the members come out, that even if you somehow can get to 5 stacks, you're not actually guaranteed to kill them. But in the meantime, it's a fairly easy room. Like, you could probably take this with something similar to what I did yesterday with like an Old Man Logan thing, because you can just bring Emma, stop all their speed stat, and then just run them over with any other fast characters, or give yourself speed bar instead. And finally, stage 6, Illuminati 3-piece, Emma, and Blue Marvel. If I did not have Mephisto on offense, this would probably be a lot trickier, or I'd probably try to Daring Warriors this, although a Blue Marvel ultimate is unblockable, so I worry if I would be able to recover from that. But as long as Eclipse doesn't die and they don't get one-shot, they should, but that's always a little spicy. But since there's no Null here and no pre-taunt, Mephisto kind of just blows Blue Marvel up. So I can see this as a good gamble room in case someone has put Mephisto on offense and doesn't really have a good way of killing Blue Marvel before he takes a turn. Because the percent health from the Empowered Basic also kind of screws over the heal that Hank would normally give him to rebalance. But yeah, you do Empowered Basic plus ISO, then you do Special. The Mind Control killed him there, but the ISO attack would have as well, or the Hobgoblin Ping would have also killed him, so this Blue Marvel was never going to survive this. And then it's just a couple more turns to kill everyone else, and they just all take so much damage because, you know, they're old stats at this point, they've got defense down, they're just peppered with debuffs. Shuri is the only one that really gets to take a turn, but she was never going to do anything realistic. Green Goblin Classic here is just a good attack to give heal block so that they can't recover if they haven't been pushed below yet because of Hank's passive. And then they just kind of die to Vulture and Raider procs. So yeah, we'll see if we won. As always, I'll splice in the result at the end of this video, so I'll see you in a few seconds.
Alright, looks like we're going to get the win on this one. Chicken Hawk never attacked. Don't know if he could have won anyway with this efficiency, but unfortunately we'll never know, so see you tomorrow.